It's really easy to see what everybody else is doing and think, I need to have all this right here, right now. But that can lead to a lot of failures, just doing too many things at once. And this is a problem I suffered from last year. I had my hands in so many different new things that I didn't really have the skills for. And number one, I was stretched for time because of it, and that leads to more failures. So this year, I've learned patience, and I'm going to be dialing things back a little bit, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be doing less. It just means I'm going to focus all my efforts on refining the skills that I already have and becoming really good at those things before tacking on new things. Patience. Patience is required. I'm going to be finally getting my onions in the ground today, and I had started onions from seed, but they all came up and they pretty much died right away. And I could have went ahead and started more seed, but I told Glenn to just go ahead and pick me up some onion sets. I had also tried to grow onions last year, and I had a few that I put in the garden, but they had like teeny tiny little bulbs. So there again, it's just a skill that I need to focus on and continue to build. And why not go ahead and start with onion sets anyway, since my seedlings died, and try again next year. I think I'm going to go ahead and re-till up this chicken food plot area, this little test plot that I'm doing, because I'd like to possibly go ahead and start planting that either late this week or next week. And I can already see like some grass popped up and all that in there, so I think I'm going to go ahead and hit that again. Glenn is going to get the tractor out and get the tiller on it, because we're going to go down and start our first tilling for our spring wheat. It's just an experiment that we're doing to see how it goes. We had done an experimental plot of winter wheat, but we got it in the ground a bit late because of all the rain that we were having. And then we had that really harsh winter storm that came, and it just wiped out all of the wheat because it just wasn't that established. So we're going to see how spring wheat goes this time. If you remember back in the fall, we sent off a soil sample to have our soil tested, and our soil came back pretty acidic, which is common in the state, and most people have to lime their gardens. And we didn't get around to doing it in the fall when we could have used like the pelletized lime, so we're gonna use the ag lime. And originally we thought we would just like take shovelfuls of it and throw it out here to try to spread it and then till it in. But we actually have like this drop spreader. It's pretty small, but we're gonna see if by some chance we can't use that to help us spread this lime a little bit more even. This is our soil sample results from the samples that we sent in back in the fall. And if you want to see the video where we did that, I'll leave a link to it in the description. But basically what we were looking for was our pH, because we were, as I said before, we were expecting our soil to be acidic. Our soil pH came back at 5.9, and so they gave the recommendation that we lime at 9 pounds per 100 square feet. You might also notice that most of our nutrients look pretty optimum, but our phosphorus is very high, and that's probably because right before we did our soil sample, we had just spread cow manure in our garden, and so a good bit of that might have gotten into the sample. So we're not worried about that.
They give you a lime amount per area, but they give it to you at 100% ENV, or effective neutralizing value. So different limes that you buy will have different ENVs, right? So this particular lime says 83%. So then you have to do a little bit of math and figure out, okay, well, if this is 80, they're saying we need this much at 100%, then you figure it up to say, okay, well, this is 83% effective neutralizing value. So and you never really get 100%, and then you just have to figure out from there. It's just a Jinsey Scott's seed spreader, or what do you call fertilizer spreader or something for like a lawn.
Watch it do totally awesome.
Spreading it with our little spreader definitely works, but it was a whole lot of work. In fact, what we got done today was only 1/3 of the lime that we need to spread, but it was kind of hard to tell like where we were going over it once it was already all white. So we're gonna wait until this kind of like soaks in some or gets rained on or whatever, and then come back and do it 2 more times. Surely having better pH is going to make a difference. And I did notice, interestingly, when I was planting the onions today, that there seemed to be slightly, maybe 1% better soil here than there was last year. So maybe all the heavy hay mulching that we did down here has helped. I would say it did, but I didn't expect to see any results this year. But I think it's better.